willingness to serve our country in this critically important position. There's an easier way to make a living, so thank you for being willing to take on this challenge. I also want to acknowledge that I believe your strongest assets in the IRS are your workforce. I know many of the individuals who are very talented. They've gone through struggles with lack of resources, and I just urge you to invest in good people, continue to invest in good people, and do everything we can to increase the morale within the workforce. The work that they're doing is critically important to our country. I agree with you on your commitment to be a rule follower. We're the ones who pass the laws. Then they're interpreted. And yes, there is confusion in the way that people comply with our tax code. And historically, we've had a high compliance because it's been voluntary compliance. Everyone believes they're being treated fairly under our system, but that's no longer the case. And yes, when you look at following the rules, if you're a higher income taxpayer or a more complicated taxpayer, you have a lot of professional help for you to interpret the rules as most favorably as they can to your advantage. And when you don't have audits, you don't have an aggressive way to have a uniform interpretation of those rules, you run into the tax gaps that we have today. And so I agree with my colleagues that we want everyone to comply with the rules. It's not an income limit here on complying with the rules. We know that those of the higher incomes have found ways to bend those rules, and that has to end. And that's one of the reasons why in passing the Inflation Reduction Act, the resources were made available so we can close that gap and have a better confidence among the American taxpayers that they're being treated fairly. I just want to underscore that point. I know I had a chance to talk to you about that, and I'm convinced you understand that. Everyone needs to
Greetings, friends. I have breaking news to share with you this Saturday. Gas prices have increased for 5 weeks in a row. Experts say that these prices are unlikely to drop anytime soon. And that is why lawmakers are taking action right now. There are new relief plans on the negotiating table, and new gas rebate checks could be sent out to millions of Americans. My friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video to hear about all of the details. Also, I will be announcing 2 winners of the $75 Walmart gift card giveaway next Friday. If you would like to enter the giveaway, all you have to do, friends, is click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, my friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Gas prices are rising once again, and many experts say that prices are unlikely to turn around anytime soon. The national average for a gallon of gas posted a lackluster week, dipping a mere penny from the previous week to $3.42. Less demand for gas and waffling oil prices are the primary reasons that the national average is stuck in neutral. Andrew Gross, the AAA spokesperson, told reporters the national average for pump prices dipped to $3.41 before creeping a bit higher over the past 2 days. And this trend of small increases could persist into next week. According to data from the Energy Information Administration, demand dipped from 8.43 million barrels per day to 8.27 million last week, while domestic gasoline stocks increased by 2.3 million barrels to 241.9 million barrels. So if gas demand remains low, drivers may see only moderate price increases amid growing total domestic stocks. Today's national average of $3.42 is 12 cents more than 1 month ago, but 9 cents less than 1 year ago. But the current price of natural gas that is used to heat homes and generate electricity is plunging this year. And that's thanks to a mild winter in the United States, bringing a little bit of relief to consumers and helping drive down inflation. The fuel, which in the U.S. is extracted mainly from shale deposits in Texas and around Pennsylvania, accounts for nearly 25% of residential energy needs, making it a big driver in last year's worst bout of inflation in 4 decades. Much warmer than expected weather throughout Europe and North America played a huge part in allowing supplies to hold out. The winter has been mild enough that large swaths of the Alps have been mostly green instead of white, and typically cold and snowy sections of the U.S. have spent most of the winter well above the freezing mark. The Energy Department now expects heating bills for U.S. households that use natural gas to rise by 12% this winter instead of 28%. The warm winter has also helped inventories in the U.S., which are expected to close March at 16% above the 5-year average. The change in energy prices comes amid a broader easing of inflation, as the Federal Reserve and other central banks fight high prices by raising their interest rates. U.S. inflation is about 6.4%. That is well below a year ago, but still far above the central bank's 2% target rate. The Fed says it'll stay focused on fighting inflation until it's sure prices are on a sustained downward path. Dear friends, please let me know in the comments section below how much your utility bills have been this past winter. As the 5 largest publicly traded oil companies boast to Wall Street about their record $264 billion haul in 2022, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse led his Democratic colleagues in reintroducing the Big Oil Windfall Profits Tax Act. It is to crack down on profiteering by big oil and return the industry's excessive gains back to working people. Congressman Ro Khanna introduced the legislation in the House of Representatives. According to Ro Khanna, he said, Big Oil continues to rake in record profits in the midst of an ongoing energy crisis and is using the money to enrich their own shareholders, while average Americans are hurting at the pump. The 5 largest publicly traded oil companies include ExxonMobil, Chevron, BP, Shell, and Total Energies, hauled in pre-tax profits totaling $264.3 billion in fiscal year 2022. Exxon alone reported nearly $78 billion in profits in 2022, smashing the earnings record of any American or European oil company. Exxon also announced plans to keep oil production flat for the year ahead. So the Big Oil Windfall Profits Tax Act would lower consumer costs with relief rebates. Revenue raised from the windfall profits of big oil companies will be returned to consumers in the form of a quarterly rebate, which would phase out for single filers who earn more than $75,000 in an annual income, and then joint filers who earn more than $150,000 a year. With oil price at roughly $90 to $100 per barrel, this levy would raise approximately $48.1 billion per year. And at this price, single filers would then receive an estimated $255 each, and joint filers will receive $382. So my dear friends, what are your thoughts about the Big Oil Windfall Profits Tax Act? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Well, my beautiful and most dearest friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Saturday evening. Friends, I want to say thank you so very, very much for joining me here every day and for being part of this community. My dear friends, I will be announcing 2 more winners this coming Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter the weekly giveaways, all you have to do, friends, is click and like several of my videos, and then do comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My friends, the more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances of winning the weekly giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed weekend.